Yes, very hot day. Still a very warm evening in Sydney. And this game originally scheduled to get underway at 10 to 1 in the afternoon. The players will be thankful that it's kicking off right now at 6 o'clock at night as April Nungapuna with the first touch of the football for the North Queensland Cowboys. Emma Manselman steps in the dummy half. Now Dibb. They look for an early shift here, North Queensland. And while they'll be disappointed that they're not going to feature in the finals, the Cowboys, they've certainly shown plenty of promise throughout this inaugural campaign.
Yeah, they've had some really good moments, the Cowboys, and we've seen some new players coming through. I think Emma Manselman's had a great season for them, and that's culminated with her selection in the PM's 13 this year too. So, yeah, there's some good signs for the new club.
And this isn't a bad opening set of 6 either for the Cowboys. There's Talisha Harden. Tackled 8 metres into Roosters territory. Manselman a dummy half. Dibb under some pressure from Koenig. Got a decent kick away. And now it's the Roosters. First use of the football as Corbin Baxter tackled on her own 20.
Great first set from the Cowboys. You could see that they wanted to use the footy early on in that set, but even just getting Talisha Harden to take that last tough run up the left edge, so it gave Kira Dibb on the right-hand side of the ruck plenty of time to get that clearing chase, and the kick chase was on. So great start.
A couple of first gamers in the Roosters team. That player playing the ball, Kelly, certainly not one of them. That was a questionable pass out of dummy half. In fact, more than questionable, it was a mile forward.
Yeah, that one came out of the hands very much forward. It was a late call that came through from the touchy by the sounds of things. And yeah, Jolie Morris just gets that one wrong, and Mai Hilmawana was slightly ahead of her there. But this gives the Cowboys a really good opportunity nice and early, and we'll sort of see what Kira Dibb can organise on this left edge. They've loaded up the left with 4 and just 2 on the right.
So Tillett will feed the scrum. Manselman out the back of it. Goes to Dibb, and that's a loose pass. They're going to be able to get on it here, the Cowboys. Strong defence. He's got an awkward position there too, did Harden.
I thought she knocked it on. To be honest, I thought she was trying for an offload and it hit a Roosters player.
I think she did.
Got away with one. Dibb through the hands, Tillett. That's for Fua, but watch out for her. Light on her feet.
That rushing defence from the Roosters is working so far. Just not allowing them to get to their edges quickly.
Harden. Nice offload. Nungapuna. This is a good start for the Cowboys. 21 away. Last play for North Queensland. Manselman to Dibb. She goes short. And they're going to be wrapped up on the last.
Well, that one, you always knew it was going to go left there because the right edge for the Cowboys had no run shape whatsoever. So Kira Dibb was out on the left screaming for the footy, and that's why the Roosters were able to get up and shut that one down.
They didn't have an overlap either. I would have liked to have seen Kira Dibb put a nice little kick in and try and build some pressure in goal.
All right, we mentioned how warm it is as the Roosters get a penalty. Ideal time to take his sideline for the first time tonight. That's a very good evening to Marley Silva. Hello, Marley.
Hello, it certainly is a very good evening, nice and warm, and quite a nice crowd building to watch this doubleheader of NRLW. Thankfully though, it has cooled down from what it was today in Sydney. It was 35 degrees, it's now 31. You do imagine that will play into the fatigue that we will see in both of these matches, and there is a breeze coming from behind the Roosters now at 22 kilometres an hour.
31 degrees. That's the sort of temperatures, Roo, that you'd say in the warm-up. You know what? I'm just feeling a bit tight in the hamstring. I might sit this one out.
No way, Salty.
Cut it out, Salty.
As if.
I'm talking about tonight. I'm talking about the commentary.
I was asking for the pickle juice early.
Should we tell the lift story or let that one go?
Yeah, the lift wasn't working, and there was all sorts of things going on about walking up the 40 flights of stairs to the commentary box.
I suggested the stairs and Salty found the goods lift.
Found the lift.
Very clever. Very quickly too.
Yes. All right, here's Poulet. Roosters on the front foot. Morris, they go down widest blind side. Kelly! Isabel Kelly, get out of my way, the Kelly train. Aiken. Kicked on through the hands and it went forwards.
Oh, that was a beautifully placed kick. Olivia Koenig was coming through, arms up in the air, AFL style, and just wasn't able to hang on to it. Or should I say Will Warbrick style. She came through in a similar position. She just couldn't grasp it there, but it was on. It was on for the Roosters. And look at this, backing up with some good D.
That's Roosters type defence there. These are tough yards now for the Cowboys. And they get beyond the 20. They watch themselves here at North Queensland, the Roosters. And they start getting into smooth defensively. Things, Alana, start working once they get the ball in hand as well with good territory.
Absolutely. As long as they can keep their discipline on point, this is a very tricky situation for the Cowboys at the moment. One of the Roosters looks like she's down. Who's that?
I think it's Keely Joseph.
Yeah, it is.
She's hobbling on that right leg, but she's just going to push through. She gets the thumbs up from the trainer. We know she's tough.
She just jogged past 3 of her teammates as well.
Who weren't down injured.
Yes. Roosters on their own 30.
Can see the outside backs coming in to chip into that work rate. 5 Roosters weren't behind the play the ball in that second, so can already see the effects of the heat.
I think being a hot night would favour the girls from North Queensland.
Just watching a replay there. Oh, hang on. Oh,
yeah, Kelly lost it into a Cowboys defender, so this will be a Roosters knock-on. Cowboys scrum feed coming up.
Yeah, she was trying to go for that quick offload to try and bring her winger onto the ball there, but the right edge defence of the Cowboys shot up and sort of closed that gap on her pretty quickly.
So Tallulah Tillett coming over to feed the scrum. 10 metres short of the halfway line for the Cowboys. Now they reach the halfway and beyond. That's a good run from Mia Middleton. Harden. Koenig with some good contacts. Hilmawana there as well. Manzelman. Now Rafstrand Smith. After being under pressure for the last couple of minutes, the Cowboys starting to mount some of their own. Manzelman, look out, beats 1, beats 2, beats 3, gets a pass away. Then it's with Blackwell.
Gosh, she's a good player. Quick play the ball after Rafstrand Smith, and she just took off Manzelman.
Manzelman gets a pass. Rafstrand Smith, is it going for the line? Stands in the tackle. Rafstrand Smith plays it. Manzelman on the last. Dib, Tillett, kicks. Here come the chasers. And it's well done. That is a great take there from the Roosters. Able to get back there. Tyler Bentley on debut doing well.
It was a brilliant take, but the chase equally up to it for the Cowboys. I think if that just had a little bit more height on it, it would have allowed Jasmine Peters to get in there. Just a little bit more climb, and Jazzy Peters would have been contesting that footy, and there's forced an error here.
Just making a tackle, you lose
the Cowboys.
An error from the Roosters. Tessa Poulet. Ball just came loose. Little bobble.
That's what Strangey thought of it. Just a little head shake.
You drop your voice when you mention his name because he's in the box next door.
Yep.
And it's not very soundproof.
No.
Okay, here's Dib. Interchange of passing. Faifua. Good tackle, Bridie Parker. Faifua plays it. Dibb goes to Peacock. And Peacock's 5 away from the line. Options both sides here for Manzelmann. Which way will they go? Go to the right. Dibb, short ball. Nakapuna for the line. Will be stopped a metre short. Roosters defence tested here. Peacock. That was easy pickings for the Roosters. They were there in numbers. Peacock plays it. Manzelmann to Dibb. Plays in motion. Dibb with a dummy, a step and a try. Well done, Kira Dibb over the line for the first points of the night.
Yeah, that was really nice from Kira Dibb. Actually, in the lead up on the right edge, I thought she offloaded the ball too early. She wasn't digging in and wasn't really committing those defenders, but that's how dangerous she can be when she takes the line on. We see here on the Harvey Norman replay, just the footy in 2 hands. She noticed that the back rower and Fotu Moala just held up, and a nice little left foot step, but it's footy in 2 hands. She sold that pass. And just a little bit of a mismatch against a couple of forwards. Great work. I think the more Kira Dibb can take the line on, particularly when she is ball playing, and now that she's run into the line herself, the more dangerous the Cowboys will look.
And she's a half, but she's played at lock as well, so she's very strong. She can punch in through the line quite nicely, and that there, just exploiting the disconnect between the edge back row and the middles there, was very, very smart. She had them drifting out to the left. We'll see here. Everybody's drifting, and Jotea Faifua out the back gets the centre and the half a little interested, and that creates that back on the inside, and here she goes. No worries.
From everybody.
Talk about the Roosters here off the back.
Okay, cool. First blood to the Cowboys through Kira Dibb, and they lead the Roosters by 6 points to 0.
Well, they made the most of that territory. It was the error from Atessa Poulet in the play the ball. And they're a dangerous side. The pressure's off. This is their last game of footy for the year. They're out there having fun. So the Roosters are going to have to step it up a notch, but that discipline's a key area to tidy up.
This is play on here. And, well, let's play on for just for a second.
Bridie Parker put her body right on the line, didn't she? And she absolutely had to, because this is Crystal Blackwell.
Yep.
Just punching down. That's big contact.
What about the sound there?
Oh, the sound was even in slow-mo. But there's already a change. The Roosters have made a change in the middle. Fotu Moala is off. Grace Hamilton is on.
I see Jessica Reeves on the field now too for the Cowboys. No surprise in these oppressive conditions that both coaches have gone to the bench early. The Roosters now with a opportunity to hit back. Morris to dummy half. Aiken. Now Kelleher gets a pass away, and they're only about 10 away from the line, but might go into touch here. Did well to stay in the field of play. The defenders went over the touchline, but
yeah, I think if they can get a quick play the ball here, the Roosters, out to the right is where they're going to find some joy.
Hamilton plays it. Now Aiken to Koenig, short ball, going for the line, reaching out and scoring. The Roosters are in.
Coming into tackle 5, Todd. Got no try. Just confirm that is a tackling action, and she just loses possession of the ball.
Ooh, okay.
Yes, well, it looked a little suspect on first watching, but we'll get a better view here. Like I said, that quick play the ball, the space was always out on the right because of all the Cowboys players that had shifted out onto that far touch line. But here, Bridie Parker does really well, but this tackle there, does she dislodge it? Yeah, she does. Blackwell gets one back over Bridie Parker.
The Cowboys are just looking to effect a tackle, and the Roosters player loses possession short of the goal line. We have a decision.
Scrum, lady. Where do you want it? Scrum.
So the Roosters almost hitting straight back through Bridie Parker, but no try. There's the confirmation. And since it was a knock on in the field of play, it'll be a scrum feed to the Cowboys.
A lot of that came off Bentley doing really well to stay in the field of play on that eastern touchline there. And the way she stayed in play meant that 3 Cowboys defenders were out over that side and they just weren't going to be able to regather. But look at this line break.
Yeah, here they go.
Oh, but she's still going.
Defends. Away they go up over the halfway line and the chase comes. Baxter doesn't affect the tackle. Gets up, goes again. That is an inspired run. And now the Cowboys, after that break from Peters on the front foot. Reeves stopped at her tracks and driven back. Keely Joseph, one of the defenders. Quick play the ball, Harden. Oh, they're up for this tonight, North Queensland. Manselman to dummy half. Dibb. Tillett. That's off a Rooster. This will be play on. Tillett's got it and flicks the pass to Peters and the defence comes, but it's a fresh set of 6, is it? No, still tackle 4.
Oh, Jasmine Peters is just grabbing at that right shoulder. She may have fallen awkwardly in the tackle here.
Tackle 4.
They're concerned here for Jasmine Peters.
It was a nifty little offload by Tallulah Tillett. Oh, it's just that extra weight landing on top while she was already on her side. Hopefully she's just compressed her sternum there and that she's all right to carry on.
Cowboys up 6-0.
If she comes back against the grave, she's staying out.
Well, Jasmine Peters is okay to play the ball, and she does so. Tackle 4. Manselman drifting. Here's Reeves. Reeves gets the legs pumping before stopped 9 metres away from the line. Manselman to dummy half. They go down that short side. Tallulah Tillett. That's a nice pass away, but the Roosters' defence are there, and it's going to be a changeover. Shelley Long tackled 2 metres short of the line.
Looks a little bit sore getting up from that. Same thing though. I'd like to see Tallulah Tillett just nudge a little grubber in. Good kick chase, try and build a little bit of pressure. That's a couple of times both halves have done that.
Hold! 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 No, 1.
So that was Bentley struggling to get to her feet there. There's a walking wounded there out there. Some tough knocks.
She's gone back down and taken a knee in back play too. It's Isabel Kelly.
Kelly gets a pass away to Aiken. Aiken inside, beautiful hands. Baxter going for the line. Here come the chasers, but Corbin's too quick for them. And the Roosters hit back through Corbin Baxter there. Inspirational number 1.
I think she deserves this one, Corbin Baxter, because she came up with 2 try-saving tackles in that previous set of 6 against the Cowboys. First on Jasmine Peters with the break down the line, and then when Tallulah Tillett tried to fix Peters again, she came up with another great tackle. But this interchange of passing on the left edge, the Harvey Norman replay, shows it beautifully. And then Corbin Baxter doing what she does so well, continual push support. She constantly works for the Roosters. But this little offload, I love this about Taryn Aiken's game, Fergo, where she just sniffs around the players that she knows can punch through the line, and she's always there to clean it up.
Yeah, she doesn't clock off, and whilst they've got set plays, the Roosters, she's constantly pushing and won't go to those set plays unless there's no better option. I think that's one of the best attributes about her game. She's got running options, they've got plays lined up, but if there's something better on offer, she'll take it. But again, I take that back to the Cowboys. They didn't try and get that repeat set. They were happy to hand it over. Isabel Kelly and her tackle breaks are something else, but the support play, brilliant. She absolutely deserves that try, Corbin Baxter. She's had a wonderful NRLW season this year.
Terrific passing, great running, and a beautiful try to Corbin Baxter. And now Jocelyn Kelleher looking to convert. And comes back beautifully. What a kick. Really good start to this NRLW doubleheader at Cogra this evening. 6-all, the Roosters and the Cowboys. Roosters hitting back with a magnificent try to Corbin Baxter. An awarding shot to the Cowboys as well, with Taryn Aiken just starting to expose the Cowboys' defence, Roo. She's looking dangerous, the Roosters' number 6.
Yeah, she certainly is, and we spoke about this straight after the try. She just sniffs around. She knows football so well. She knows where space is and what it feels like when people are coming at her, and she'll warm up into this game even more.
I don't think she'll be one of the players that's going to get fatigued with this heat either. She won't be backing off.
Keely Joseph. Good set. There's 2 tackles left in it. Now Aiken gets a pass away, and there. Oh, that's a really strong run. Pull there to Kelly. Isabel Kelly. The Roosters go back to back. Improves the position, and Kelly scores for the Roosters.
Well, they've got Taryn Aiken to thank for this, because I was watching her just barking at her teammates. She actually forced Grace Hamilton to come on the outside of her just before this so that she could call her under. That creates that little bit of space for a pull. It was a great run, and just as good was the support play from Isabel Kelly. She's got the pace and power to get around her, but Taryn Aiken, the role that she's playing in this Roosters side is immense. Just to be able to set that up. I don't think that pass works and is as effective if she doesn't have Grace Hamilton coming back underside her. That just forces the defence to pull up a little bit, watch what's going on, one less defender in there, and creates that little bit of space. But nicely done from the Roosters.
Yeah, and I think the Harvey Norman replay showed it beautifully. You can just see when you've got a big running forward outside of you, you just want them running at the tags of the opposition. So that's at the halves, at the nines, the smaller players, the smaller bodies. And that's what they're doing to Tillett. That left edge is just constantly attacking her inside and outside shoulder, forcing her to make decisions defensively, and then just good hard ball running is coming to the fore as well. See there, again, that's the second time she's been exposed. And Kelly does really well to improve, as does Kelleher. Another conversion.
Isabel Kelly, one of the real stars of the NRLW. Two players scoring for the Roosters that have had magnificent careers and far from done. Now they're looking to go to the right now, the Roosters. There's an offload, onto it quickly. Baxter. That's a good run from Corbin.
Square, Tiana, hold.
Rafstrand Smith, one of those in that tackle.
Lily, clear the arm, breathe, all the way, and hold. Square.
Just short of the halfway line, the Roosters. They look like they're really in a mood now. Joseph.
Sarah, Emma, come on. Square, Sarah.
Morris to dummy half. 2 tackles left in the set. Aiken with options both sides. Inside she goes, and Hamilton wrapped up on the last. Aiken kicking. Here come the chasers. Faifua takes it well. Bentley made the tackle.
Joey, no more. Square up. Hold here. Hold.
Playing the ball is long. There's some more strong defence. You don't have to look twice to see who it was. It was Keely Joseph. Might have been limping a few minutes ago, but no signs of it now. 2 tackles in a row for Keely Joseph there, in fact. It's Peacock playing it. Near Middleton. Last play for the Cowboys. 10 short of halfway. Manselman Nadib. Dib kicking from inside the 40, but straight down pretty much the centre of the ground. Sits up nicely for Baxter. She goes to Bentley.
Well, they get to start their set on the 40-metre line. And that kick, as you mentioned, Salty, from inside, I think that was all because the Cowboys were really flat that set of 6. They weren't coming onto the ball at pace. They weren't making too many metres, met by that line defence from the Roosters. They really need to stick it at them. It was working when they had a little bit of more ball movement, but certainly a little bit more depth and coming onto the ball at a bit more pace.
25 away here, the Roosters. Morris to dummy half. Kelleher shows it. Now goes to Parker. And that's a good tackle on Parker. Middleton. Morris to Kelleher. Here come the chasers. That kick. And thought for a moment there we were going to see Peters forced in the touch.
Well, the Cowboys need to find some energy here. There was a lot of hands on hips as that ball was being played. They just need to get into good run position, support each other. They can't let each other go one out like this, as the Roosters will just pick them off.
They got fortunate there. Karoy onto the ball. And
you got to let it go.
Get a penalty.
No, all over the ball.
That
you got to let
helps,
it go.
as does on the touch line. There's a couple of new replacements getting ready to come on. Freshen up the stocks in the middle. But an early penalty there, Pani Hopoate. I think she's only fresh on the field too for the Roosters.
Sareka Muka and Alicia Ford about to come onto the field. That is a very good touch finder as well. So they'll start this set on the halfway line.
Every middle forward just applauded at home there, saying thank you very much. That's what we like.
Reeves being strong off the bench for the Cowboys. North Queensland now 30 away from the Roosters line. Big chance for them to hit back again. And after that onslaught from the Roosters. Oh, big hit. How's that for your first touch of the football? Now Tillett puts the grubber kick in and the try will come. The Cowboys are in, and that is a lovely hit back.
It was Bree Chester. She picked that up beautifully, didn't she? But this is what Alana was looking for. She wanted Tillett to take the line on and find that kick. We're seeing the big hit by Pani Hopoate, but she bounced straight back up, Mooker, and that's what helps here, because it's a very quick play the ball. Then they play out to the right. Emma Manselman again on the Harvey Norman replay. Good service, but this is a smart kick. And Bree Chester does well to stay live.
It's so clever. You watch the way that Tillett just toys with Taryn Aiken here. She just holds it up on the outside, a lovely little grubber. That's the perfect kick because you can nail those bounces. It takes practice, but she's executed that grubber kick perfectly. But the way she just got on the outside of Taryn Aiken, enough so that she was committed but had that space, that's wonderful from Tula Tillett. She's got such a great instinctive football game. Sometimes I think she goes to those premeditated plays because she thinks it's the right thing to do and they've called it, and she is quite a young footballer, but naturally, that's when she plays her best footy, and that was it.
Attempted conversion, waved away.
Try for the Cowboys, scored by number 11, Chester. Conversion unsuccessful, the Roosters lead 12 points to 10.
I'd rather go with no one than go with someone and get it wrong. Yes. You're all over the shop.
Roosters in front by 2.
I'm just watching the back play here. Tyler Bentley is coming from the field for the Roosters. So the left winger is coming off. I assume Mia Wood would push out to that side.
She's played the wing,
Yeah.
the wing the last couple of times.
Yep, scored a few tries too. Quite handy.
She was on the right wing though, was she, for Jamie Frezard? She'll be right. She's played enough footy.
Yeah, she's sprinting out to the left now. There she goes.
When you said she'll be right, did you mean that one? Alana, that was very clever.
No, I did not mean it. I should claim it, but no. So
She's actually gone to the left, but anyway.
no.
You're happy, aren't you? You're really happy. We turned on our TVs at 2:30 this afternoon, and you were straight away with your up the wires.
Up the wires. What a great day for rugby league. I love it. Fairy tale. I think the Knights had their big occasion last weekend, but up the wires. I've been on the bandwagon for a while now. How good.
40-10 this afternoon, our time over in Auckland. And now next Saturday night, and we'll have it for you on Nine's Wide World of Sports. The Warriors heading to Suncorp. Oh, that pass Tom Brady would have been proud of.
That was almost a penalty. It was that far forward.
Last tackle, Mark here.
The idea was right, though. She took the space really, really well. But the execution of that last pass, just Isabel Kelly shooting up, spooked her a little bit.
And yeah, next Saturday night, the Warriors up against the Broncos for a spot in the grand final in the NRL.
I think I prefer that, the Warriors and the Broncos. I think for me, the Warriors really are the third best side. It'll be a great game. Up the wires. Just one more time.
Tell you what, if they start the way they did tonight, the Broncos are going to be up for an absolute fight next weekend.
Well, it was good to put all of that to bed and Sean Johnson playing at his best, wasn't it? That was the difference.
It is Fatu Moala for the Roosters. Kelleher to Aiken, Baxter to Kelly. Now with the first touch of the ball is Wood. Down the touchline, throws it back in field, but went into touch.
Play the ball, Kira.
She found the pass really well, that offload back on the inside, but she just unfortunately stepped out. Got the fend, haven't he?
Oh.
Oh, hang on. No, she didn't.
Wow.
Jeez, I wish they'd captain's challenged that.
Behind it. Millie. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that was closer than we thought it was. Here it is.
Here we go. Hey, that's clean. That's play on. That's not out. We'll take the error off her then, please. Malcolm, Middleton.
All right, let's take you downstairs. Marley, you got an injury update for us?
Yes, we saw Tyler Bentley come off just a few moments ago. She was having her right ankle looked at, but has also come off for a head injury assessment. It has been categorised as a category 2, and she'll have 15 minutes to pass that assessment and return to the match.
Thank you, Marley. Last play here for the Cowboys. Dibb drives it downfield. And out in the fingertips from Baxter.
That was a beautiful kick by Kira Dibb, and where she kicked it, it's sitting right into the breeze. So you saw it just slightly shift away. Oh, and there's an error here as well coming out through yardage. And geez, it almost got away from Corbin, but she did well, go gadget arms, but then unfortunately Jamie Frezard came up with the knock on. Just trying to add a few extra metres through the middle. Looking for a target a little early.
Ben Jeffries liking what he's seeing from his team with under 5 minutes left in this first half, and they've got a scrum feed. 30 metres away from the Roosters line. Tillett to feed the scrum. Dibb at first receiver. Goes to Middleton. 20 away, Faifua to dummy half. Dibb at first receiver. Now, strong run after throwing the dummy from forward. Muka. Only a couple of metres away. Dibb, Tillett, Isabel Kelly with a great tackle.
Great tackle, great read. She's been putting all sorts of pressure on that edge and she nailed that one, Isabel Kelly.
Now Chester goes to Long and the ball is put down here by the Cowboys.
Yeah, that's just pressure from the Roosters' defence. All led from that line speed and great tackle from Isabel Kelly the play before. And they were just up in their faces. The pass went a little bit too far back, but it's the pressure from the defence. You don't throw passes like that and you don't drop those ones if the defence aren't up in your face.
Roosters to feed the scrum. Aiken has the ball in hand. Frezard. Hasn't seen a lot of the football in the opening half.
No, not too much. They've been attacking down that left edge quite a bit. We haven't seen Isabel Kelly really sweep around and add to the back line though. So maybe they changed things up in the second half and they're just keeping it pretty simple and punchy.
Parker playing the ball to that play we were just talking about in Frezard. Hamilton. And that's Scutt, the dummy half. I'll tell you more about her throughout the course of the night. Oh, they've put it down here. And Mooker's got it for the Cowboys. So now, late in the half, Cowboys with a chance to reclaim the lead. They led 6-0 early. And the Roosters went back-to-back very quickly. And a nice hit back from North Queensland. They're 2 points down. As Reeves playing it. Now, Dibb for Fua. That's a great read by Parker. Terrific one-on-one tackle on Faifua.
Tackle 3, play it on the mark.
Go back half a step and play the ball.
Parney, give space.
Forward to Dibb. Dibb. No holes there in the Roosters' defence. Hamilton shutting that down quickly. Forward goes to Tillett. Tillett puts a kick in. Here come the chasers. And that's a terrific take from Baxter. Gets away then from Long. Gets away from Chester. Looks to accelerate. Corbin having a field day.
Safe as houses, Corbin Baxter in the right position. Isabel Kelly, that one might have been a little bit high, but her input into getting out of the backfield is as immense as ever. There she is. Jamie Frezard's come in over to the other side to help her team get on the front foot, but there's Corbin Baxter just taking that and starting their set so strong.
Into the last minute of the half. Now, Koenig to Baxter. Lovely ball, Frezard. Wrapped up, last play. Now Koenig to Kelleher. And that's charged down, it's play on here. Koenig beats one, beats another, will be wrapped up. 20 seconds left. Opportunity here for the Roosters. Aiken, long pass, Frezard inside, Parker for the corner. No, she stopped. Desperate defence. This could be the last play of the half. Frezard to Kelleher. Aiken with a chip over the top. It's been lost, and Taryn Aiken is there to score a try right on half-time. A try that only Taryn Aiken could score.
Oh, you're dead on with that. Isn't she something special, Taryn Aiken? And the play the ball before, she was involved in that, in getting it out to Jamie Frezard. We see that charge down, and Koenig went for a wonderful run to set them up with that territory. But she's quite far over on the right-hand side, Taryn Aiken. This was probably their last crack, and a kick, as we know, it's only as good as its chase, and she put it on the boot. She knew she was the only one there, and didn't she just nail that? Feifua, she might have nightmares about that one, I think, Salty, because it was a sitter. She certainly could have caught it, but Taryn Aiken, what a player.
The way that she plays is just, I mean, you just got to be on your toes all the time. And for us watching the game, I mean, I know myself as a commentator, Alana, whenever she touches the ball and the team's on the front foot, she's just great to watch.
She's a pleasure to watch. She's so reactive to what the defence is doing. I think that's what I love most. They've got great players, great structures at the Roosters and set plays, but just her ability to go ad-lib and back herself, it's so exciting.
Kelleher to make it an 8-point lead for the Roosters at the break. Converts the try. So 3 tries to 2. The Roosters with a try right on half-time. And they've skipped out to an 8-point lead at the break, half-time. Here at Cogra on this Saturday night. The Roosters 18, leading the Cowboys 10. Second half underway. First of our doubleheaders. Doubleheader tonight. First game in our doubleheader. Dragons v Broncos coming up straight after this game. Well, that doesn't help the Cowboys cause an early penalty to the Roosters.
No, and you can't even blame fatigue there. We're 30 seconds into the second half, just a little bit of ill discipline, and this is what the Cowboys cannot afford to do that, because off the back of it, that's when these big ball runners come into play for the Roosters.
Fatu Moala playing the ball. That's a good, strong run.
Oh, they're running with a lot of intent, the Roosters.
Looking to get into their work early here in the second half, the Tricolours. And then, just as we're about to wrap them and say how they're on the front foot, there's a mistake.
Well, on the previous run, I thought that Pani Hopewadi may have accidentally knocked it on or bobbled it at the ground, and then this one here, Corbin Baxter, she knows that she just made an error. There's 0 challenges coming from her here. But after the ill discipline from the Cowboys' defence, they find themselves in a pretty good position to start their first set of 6 for the second half.
So the Cowboys, their first use of the football in this second half after conceding that early penalty. And they forced an error, and now they're on the front foot themselves. They'd love a hit back here after conceding just before the break. Reeves, strong off the bench. Jessica Reeves, tackled by Koenig. And then Fatu Moala. Dib. Tillett. Goes on her own. Tackled by Scutt, the debutant. 21 away, Dib. Short ball, well read. Poulet, a very good tackle. Taryn Aiken there as well. Last play. Forward to Dib. Didn't get all of it, but could. Oh, hang on a second. Kelleher gets a bounce. Sits up beautifully for her. That is great thinking by the number 7. Here come the Cowboys chasing, but talk about turning defence into attack. Great thinking by the number 7.
Oh, that is the ultimate trap and scrap. And look at the field position she's garnered her team. And Isabel Kelly is just biting off more metres.
She gassed.
it's still very hot down there. So I'm not surprised after that big effort.
Hamilton, 21 away here, the Roosters. Scott goes in the dummy half. Kelleher, the last thing she wanted was the ball, so she gives it straight away to Koenig. They're 12 away. Scott the dummy half. Hopewadi, strong. 5 away, last play. Aiken.
Good on the left.
And the Cowboys are there to get onto that Taryn Aiken kick. They hold on. Shelley Long playing the ball.
Millie, get up now. Oh, wait, Barney, hold.
They're tired, the Cowboys. You can see a few of their players just, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players just hanging back. Hands on hips. 4 minutes into the first half, but that was a tough set to absorb some pressure from the Roosters.
Strand Smith playing the ball 10 short of halfway. Did from inside the 40. Knock back. Baxter. Running with purpose again.
Plenty of purpose. She went to pass it and thought, no, the best option here is to stick it under my wing and get this set started. She's now allowed her winger to have a crack off the back of.
Aiken the dummy half. Kelly goes to Baxter.
Well, just watching this kick for Kira Dibb. Look at the flat spin on it. It was like a UFO, just spinning in circles there. That's why Corbin Baxter found it a little difficult to take. Geez, that was nice. So that.
What a ball, Kelly. Inside, Aiken. She's got a double. Taryn Aiken under the post, and the Roosters extend their lead.
Stop it. Stop it right now. Taryn Aiken, what a player. That's just really good footy from the Roosters. Outside backs getting heavily involved, but Taryn Aiken holds it up. She targets Tallulah Tillett, and that line that Isabel Kelly ran was perfect. She just hit that angle a little bit late. This will be a great shot. Taryn Aiken sucks in Tallulah Tillett and Corbin Baxter helps, but that opens the space and allows that strong line for Isabel Kelly. And then the support play. They make it look simple, but they get so many crucial parts of the game right. It's really good footy from the Roosters.
Yeah, and I think the high shot on the Harvey Norman replay showed that one absolutely beautifully. When you've got bodies in motion like that, what it actually does, Taryn Aiken takes a line on, ball in 2 hands. She's got options. She's got an option out the back. She's got an option as a front runner. There, she hits Isabel Kelly, but the reason why she hits that front runner is because Shelley Long, the centre, gets really interested in the fullback, scooting around the back. And that's just really smart football, and you can see the pain that Ben Jeffries is feeling right now. As Joss Kelleher looks to keep her record intact.
3 from 3 so far tonight. A couple of tough ones as well. This the easiest, and she converts.
Conversion successful on Jocelyn Kelleher. The Roosters lead 24 points to 10.
Taryn Aiken having a night out, and the Roosters out to a 14-point lead. She takes the kick off. Oh, hang on, there's a mistake. Hamilton puts it down.
Well, it was a smart kick by the Cowboys. They kicked it right over to the touchline, and it required a 2-pass to get back to that forward runner. And unfortunately, the pass put down by Grace Hamilton. Just a little too far out in front of her there. But this optimal position for the Cowboys to hit straight back. Straight back after points by the Roosters. And they really like this 4-2 setup on a midfield scrum. We have a look at the red zone. The Cowboys obviously leading that, but that's just great defence by the Roosters to keep them out.
And they're well in front in the Westpac red zone, the Cowboys. Here's a big opportunity for them. Rafstran Smith, a strong runner of the football. Stop 2 metres short of the line. Alicia Ford to dummy half. Now they're searching, they're scheming, looking for a way through, wanting a way to get back into this game. Is it through Mooka? No way through there for Mooka. Ford to dummy half. Now Faifua, oh, it's been put down. Pick it up, Jamie, it's there. And Jamie Frezard's got the ball for the Roosters.
Well, Bridie Parker came screaming up out of the line and read that one beautifully. Forced the error from the Cowboys.
They're very good at that, aren't they, Roo, on their line? That edge defence that gets up and applies that pressure. It's obviously something they train very hard to execute properly because it's so effective.
Yeah, absolutely. And we see them do it time and time again. It's a very good defensive system.
Now Telstra is the proud naming rights partner of the NRL Telstra Women's Premiership. This is footy country. Aiken to Kelly, Woods. That's good work from Wood. Goes back to Aiken. They're on the halfway line. Kelly. Now into Cowboys territory. Go the Roosters. Hamilton playing it. Scut to Joseph. Kelleher. There's a bit of an opening. It is the last. Koenig just runs straight through. And, well, she tried to put it on the toe, but couldn't get her foot to it. And it'll be a turnover. She didn't know what to do.
I was pretty loud then. I reckon John Strange heard me and he was saying the opposite. Just hang on to it.
It's not her responsibility to put in that fifth tackle kick, though.
It's a good break.
It's a great line break. They got lucky. It could have been a lot worse.
Faifua did very well.
Do you get your kicking licence taken off you if you don't touch the ball? If it doesn't even touch your foot?
I think if it's an air swing, maybe, but I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. The pressure from Faifua there was very good.
I'm saying done for the day.
John
Spoken like a true half. And all the forwards are saying, go again. Look at this. This is an ankle worry here. She went down straight away.
Let's have a look at the tackle and how this occurs. Ooh. Bit of trouble here. Hopewadi. This looks like it's a hip drop.
Oh, that's on Peters, is it? Oh, immediate concern for that right ankle.
So Jasmine Peters in some strife. There's concern. Cowboys coach and Ben Jeffries.
Absolutely, and alongside him, Alicia Newton. They'd be very stressed about that injury, but just on Alicia, she's been in and around Women's Rugby League for a very long time now in assistant coaching roles. That's not good at all. So I think she has a very bright future in terms of coaching. Alicia, she's been in the game, she's played rugby league and is learning off the best. She was at the Dragons before she went to the Cowboys, but stay tuned. I think she'll have a head coaching role in years to come.
Oh, Jasmine Peters is going to be helped from the field here.
And the Roosters could well be down to 12 in just a moment.
I think they might be, unfortunately.
Yep. 10 in the bin. 10 in the bin for Hopewadi. So it's 13 on 12. All right, well, coming up after this game, we've got the second in our doubleheader on this Saturday night. It's Dragons v Broncos. And speaking of the Broncos, Julia Robinson, their winger, is with our own Marley Silva.
And I'm here with Julia Robinson. Julia, it ended up being quite a tight win over the Tigers last week. What's the focus coming into this one?
We definitely just need to do our role a bit better. We're like our worst enemy sometimes, so I think our main focus to complete all our sets.
Well, good luck out there.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Julia. Thank you, Marley.
How good is it to see Julia back playing?
Brilliant.
I love the way she plays. She's so physical, she's so willing, so strong. Just rips in every single game. This is a sad sight for Jasmine Peters, who's probably been one of the Cowboys' best tonight. She's created a lot of opportunities, come up with some really good defensive efforts, and Emma Munzelman is going to come back onto the field, so it'll be interesting to see how they rejig that edge.
So it's 13 on 12. And the Cowboys on the halfway line.
Straighten up, hold, hold.
Menzelman, the dummy half. Good strong charge from Nagapuna.
All the way, wait.
Menzelman.
Good.
That pass flat to Peacock. Ooh, the call of held came. Dibb. Kira Dibb just held up the pass nicely to Raftran Smith. Frezard, though, with a wonderful one-on-one tackle. Dragged it to the ground. Dibb, Reeves. Hamilton up the top, Scut down below. Menzelman, it's the last. Dibb goes on her own. Kira held up.
Coming into tackle 6. I have no try. Just confirm I held up all the way there, Todd.
She's very dangerous close to the line. That footwork we saw in the first half came up with points. This one here, I think the Roosters have turtled her just enough.
Looking to see if Kira Dibb gets the ball to the ground or if she's held up.
Kernick's right leg is in the way, and then Frezard comes over the top.
Oh, hang on. What happens on the end? No, it's always
on the leg.
On the leg.
Good scramble by the Roosters, but again, good signs with
The
Kira
ball always
Dibb taking
remains
the line
up,
on.
and the tackle is now complete. We have a decision.
No, it's a change over here. Just wait for me, okay? Front foot.
So because it was the last, it'll be a changeover.
Lily, wait. Go. April, release. I called held, and then you take
Going
it to
on with the
ground.
tackle too long after the call of held came by the referee. And a penalty coming out of their own end here for the Roosters as Kelleher shoots for touch.
That's just that discipline that they can't really afford to be giving away at the moment, the Cowboys. Giving the Roosters a little bit of a piggyback.
Go.
They're now over their 30-metre line to start their set.
Lily, get up! Where? Yeah. Hold. Go, 1.
Kelleher to Aiken. Look at these players in motion for the Roosters. Now Kelly. Isabel Kelly beats one. Tallulah Tillett
All the way, girls.
just
All the way,
hopped
Emma.
on for the ride there for about 7 or 8 metres. Boy, they're good at turning defensive attack. This Roosters outfit at 12 away from the line. Joseph. Keely Joseph fighting.
Lily, roll out of there now.
Only a couple of metres away. Aiken bobbing up on the right. It's with Kelleher. And she stays in the field of play.
Go.
Parker. Aiken. Yeah, it's a charge down, but then a knock on. So the initial charge down okay, but then there was a knock on after it from the Cowboys, and the Roosters will get a scrum feed.
Well, it was a great kick pressure there, April Natapuna, and she just couldn't quite re-grip it. This was excellent. You knew it was coming. The pass from Bridie Parker to get to Taryn Aiken was fantastic, and that was excellent kick pressure, but just there. that knock-on happens. But, you know, you're speaking about how well the Roosters transition from defence to attack. It's because they continually attack every single time they have the footy. They don't just rest on their laurels and say, we're just going to set it up here and we'll play off the next one. They play whatever the defensive line gives them. That's why they're so dangerous.
The worrying thing is for the Cowboys is that the Roosters are finding space. That line break from Isabel Kelly.
With one player down.
With one player down, exactly. That line break from Isabel Kelly, and then Taryn Aiken created a little bit of space on that right edge. They've got to tighten up the Cowboys in defence.
Aiken, Baxter, Corbin, Baxter. Good tackle down low by Ford. Wood to dummy half. Kelly at first receiver. The Roosters looking very dangerous. Hamilton heavily involved. Scott. Now Joseph. Scott the dummy half. Aiken. Plenty of players in motion. Frezard! Jamie Frezard is in for the Roosters.
Good footy again from the Roosters. Taryn Aiken, we'll get to see it here on the Harvey Norman replay, but just have a look at who she targets. They're a player down, so they shouldn't be able to find space, but she skips out and sucks in Kira Dibb. That's what opens up that space. She should actually be, if they were marked up, on the back rower, but Taryn Aiken skipping out and committing Kira Dibb, that allowed that space for Jamie Frezard, and so too Isabel Kelly in her try on the left edge. She ran a wonderful line and made sure that she executed off the back, but Taryn Aiken, the intent behind her attack and her ability to understand who she needs to commit to allow those passes and that space to work, she's too good.
She is, and it was great support running by Jamie Frezard as well. I think this angle will probably show it beautifully. She fixes, she can see who she's trying to get at. And when you play inside, outside shoulder on one player, you force them to make a defensive decision. And the decision that was made then by Kira Dibb was, I'm going to come in on the ball carrier. And that's what created the space for Frezard on the outside. And when you run those plays, the space isn't wider. The space is actually where the defender used to be. That's what makes that one so special.
Kelleher. And off the upright, it's over. What a kick. Jocelyn Kelleher, 100% on the night. Now tomorrow afternoon. What a game this is in the nation's capital. A semi-final spot goes on the line. Raiders v Titans. 3:15 tomorrow afternoon from GIO Stadium in Canberra. We'll have it for you on Nine's Wide World of Sports. And on Nine now, the makeup of the finals coming down to the last game of the home and away season. Hamilton now for the Roosters.
She shortened her run up on that one, made sure that she made it a shorter pass for Taryn Aiken and an easier catch for herself.
No more, Talisa, lock in. Hold square, hold.
They're a classy football team, this Roosters outfit. Under pressure a lot tonight.
Oh, yes.
Well, thought for a minute that they were going to break free there, but it ends up with Aiken.
I was all excited. I was up, ready to go.
Joseph, nice footwork. Almost got through the tackle. Now Kelleher puts in a little grubber kick. And Faifura's there for the Cowboys to clean up.
Well, how much energy do the Cowboys have in the tank now? Because they've had to do so much defence. And the Roosters, even though they're down a player, have just been creating opportunities for themselves. And here we go again. Look at this. This defence from the Roosters is ruthless.
Parker and Frezard outstanding. And Bridie Parker jumped on the loose ball, and they're on the front foot again here. Sending a statement to the rest of the competition, the Roosters. Joseph. So professional, their approach tonight in this second half. Aiken, short ball, Puller, there she is. Tessa Puller with a try, and the Roosters go further in front.
Well, the previous try, we saw Taryn Aiken go to work on the right-hand side. This time, she swings around to her left, and this is what I love about her play as well. She swings both sides and is equally as good with fixing her defenders and coming up with the right options. And this one, she just hits that lead runner. Again, a lot of bodies moving out the back, and on the Harvey Norman replay, we're just seeing there's an injury there to Pule, who has been very, very strong on this left edge, and she just barged her way over. But that setup is just fantastic. Their run shape is constantly moving, constantly providing options to their ball players, and again, targeting inside, outside shoulders of the halves.
Yeah, look how far Taryn Aiken digs into the line too. She's so good. We're getting a very good understanding of the systems at the Roosters and how well it works. They are a depleted side in this matchup, missing some really, really key players. Jess Surgis, Keely Davis, Millie Boyle, but they've certainly got that next one up mentality, and they've been performing. Little slight variations in the way they take the line on, but just coming onto the ball at so much pace. They've scored 30 points or more in 6 of 8 of their games this season, and they've just done it again this one. Just shows the class of their entire squad.
Kelleher. Strikes that one beautifully again. 6 from 6. Jocelyn Kelleher. It's 36-10 with just over 15 minutes remaining. Now, for the very first time, the NRL is heading to Vegas. Join us as Australia's most exciting sport is unleashed in the sports and entertainment capital. Rugby League unleashed in Las Vegas. Tickets are on sale now. Visit NRL.com/Vegas. 36 points to 10. And we're about to be 13 on 13. And Hopewadi preparing to make her way back out onto the field. Marley, you've got an injury update for us?
Yes, I do. The hip drop tackle that Hopewadi was sin bin for, that was on Jasmine Peters, unfortunately has caused an ankle injury that will see her not return in this match. Also from the Roosters camp, late in the first half, we saw Tyler Bentley come off for both a HIA and an ankle injury. Her ankle injury is actually ruling her out of this match as well.
Thank you, Marley. Here's Kelly. Bill Moana tackled on the halfway line. Kelleher kicks downfield. Cowboys with the footy. Well, the call of held came just when it looked like Keely Joseph and Jolie Morris were going to really apply some pressure in defence.
Oh, they're just mauling them at the moment. Their line speed is good, their contact is fantastic, and they're winning that ruck every time the ball is in play.
Offload, Manselman. Finally get a pass away, but the Roosters' defence is there again. Scut with the tackle. Now Harden playing it. Dib on the last. Kicking into the corner. Parker takes it well and will stay in the field of play. Under the pressure of especially Mia Middleton coming through. Now Frezard.
Oh, that was high.
Play on.
Look at those metres gained. Isabel Kelly, Corbin Baxter. That's huge. They get a penalty here, so a little bit of a gift, but the most metres made from any Cowboys player is 83 at the moment. So a big difference. I think that really shows up the defensive efforts from both sides. You see a big difference in the line speed of the Roosters and taking away their time and space and meeting them before they gain much momentum. Whereas the Roosters, they've just been charging on through.
After the penalty, the Roosters starting this set inside Cowboys territory. Kelleher, Aiken, there's room out wide. It's with Frezard, Jamie Frezard. They put her down, Middleton with the tackle. Parker to Baxter. Now Koenig. 20 metres away here, the Roosters. Big back line set to the left. Do they go that way? They certainly do, but they don't use the back line that's there. Joseph playing it. Aiken. Lovely ball. Kelly. She pops a pass. Kelleher gets there. Jocelyn Kelleher with the try. She adds her name to the sheet, and boy, she's having a night out. 6 from 6, and now a try.
Oh, she's made it difficult for herself, though, hasn't she, Salty? She's scored it very, very wide. But on the Harvey Norman replay, this is where the Roosters' attack is just humming. Again, those run options. Isabel Kelly's strength has been fantastic. But the lead-up play, obviously the ill discipline from the Cowboys, gifting extra field position, which the Roosters only need half a sniff. And again, Taryn Aiken just showing her versatility, both sides of the field she plays, and the quality of Corbin Baxter to be able to play on one side and allow the two halves to link up on an open side is just top shelf.
Yeah, I love seeing them combine. I think Isabel Kelly could have made it a lot easier for her side to get those 4 points if she had have caught and passed, because she had both the centre and the winger well and truly in and involved in her taking that ball. I reckon that's the only part of the game that she can fine-tune. She's a wonderful defender. Her line breaks, her tough carries, and her finishing when it is on to hold the ball, but just the ability to catch pass. She does do it sometimes. She can do it, but just to find the right timing and consistency there, that'll complete her game.
And 6 from 7 it is now for Jocelyn Kelleher. That attempted conversion. She can't blame the try scorer because it was her try. So 40 points to 10. And the Roosters looking to cement second place on the table with victory here tonight. Just over 10 minutes remaining, but still a lot to play for. As far as the Broncos are concerned, they want to win their game against the Dragons coming up. And that big one tomorrow afternoon, Titans v Raiders at GIO Stadium in Canberra. That's going to decide the top 4.
Two very exciting games happening over tonight and tomorrow. Obviously also the Sharks and Eels, even though they're not in finals contention. I think that'll be a ripper of a game.
Frezard playing the ball in the halfway line to Parker. They're not going to shut up shop, the Roosters. One thing we know about them, when they get in the mood like this, magnificent to watch. Here they go again. Kelly now. Isabel Kelly. Last play. Aiken. Kelleher. Kicking across fields. It's a good take there in the end by Blackwell.
Gosh, she had a lot of time to kick that, Kelleher. She could have taken an extra 5 seconds and still would have got it away.
Look at this contact from the Roosters.
That was Rokuono playing the ball. They're able to activate their 18th player, the Cowboys.
Yeah, that was due to the foul play. Oh, that's a high tackle.
It's not quick.
She got wrong foot. You very rarely see Taryn Aiken get wrong-footed, but she just put on a bit too much pace there.
She's up.
And the big step back on the inside. Got her, but there's another Cowboys player down on their haunches in back play here. Oh, Millie Boyle. Yep. Sure, we'll see her in action next week.
Now this kick just finds touch. It's a good touch finder in the end.
Looks like there's a Cowboys player coming off with an HIA here.
Another one. Chester.
It's a good run.
She's been strong. And she's topped their tackle count so far as well, Bree Chester.
Yeah, that's it. To be able to make runs like that off the back of that workload in defence makes it even better.
Now forward. Here are the Cowboys, a metre away from the line. Looking to end their campaign on a positive note. Dibb on the bounce. Parker picks it up and is tackled by Middleton. The Roosters' defence, even though the game in safekeeping, just relentless in that last set of 6. Joseph playing it on her own 30. Just over 6 minutes remaining. Fatumawala on the last. Now that's from inside the 40. The bounce is a horrible one for the Roosters.
What a shame. She got plenty on it.
Could have been a 40-30. Might have even been close to a 40-20.
Yeah,
Same result.
She just got up under it a little too much. So that when it bounced straight up instead of rolling along. That the defence from the Roosters, we spoke about this. This is what's impressed me. They haven't gone away from it. They haven't just thought, we've scored 40 points, let's clock off. They're continuing to work.
There's a strong run. Talisha Harden, what a run. Gets a pass away. Blackwell shrugging away from defenders.
Oh, and she got an offload away.
Got an offload away there. Manselman. Now, Blackwell to Dibb. Dibb sizing up her opportunities. Goes on her own. And has wrapped up 5 away from the line. Last play for the Cowboys. Blackwell! Yeah, does she get it down?
I think so.
Tackle 6.
Unfortunately,
Sorry,
I
got
don't
no
think
try.
so.
Just confirm that the ball is initially lost
What a
and
run
goes into a
from
defender
Talisha
before
Harden.
she rolls around.
She's found some space behind the ruck a few times tonight. Creates this opportunity for the Cowboys, but here, as she rolls over, yeah.
Just looking to see if the Cowboys player maintains possession or it's lost into the Roosters' defender's arm.
I feel like it's lost right there.
Ooh.
But she never regains
Close,
control of
no,
it once she
yeah.
loses. She never regrips. That's probably the key thing, because everyone would say, we see that downward pressure all the time.
The
but she
Cowboys
doesn't
player, in
regrip.
attempting to ground the ball, loses possession into
it
the
is.
Roosters' arm.
There's that job in the
We have a
bunker, Roo.
decision.
Keep putting your hand up.
Oh, no. Don't do that to me.
Maybe combined roles.
Wait for the tap.
Commentate and go into bunker.
Give all the inner workings away. All the magic.
Maya Hilmawana playing the ball for the Roosters.
Let it go, 3, go. Lock in, Emma, wait. Go, 1.
4.5 minutes left. The Roosters destined for second place on the ladder. The Knights wrapped up the minor premiership on Thursday night. The Roosters will finish second. They'll both host semi-finals next week. Aiken. Nice ball, Woods. And Wood will be tackled 20 metres away from the line. The Cowboys' defence shot to bits here. The Roosters, they're all lined up. Now they're 10 metres away. Huge numbers to the right. Kelleher goes for a shot at field goal and misses.
She sprayed it too. As soon as she struck it, she knew. She knew the hands went to the head.
Come off. Player in front.
Well, there's another Cowboys player down, grasping that left shoulder. Is that Alicia Ford, who moved to the right wing with that injury to Jasmine Peters. And unfortunately for the Cowboys, it was such a bright start for them, had so much promise. Oh, that never looks comfortable. This is now the 4th time this season they've conceded 40 points in a game. And they were so willing, they just couldn't stay in the arm wrestle long enough against, and let's be honest, Salty, we knew that we would see a performance like this out of the Roosters this week. After losing last week, we knew what they would bring the following week.
Yeah, they're a champion side.
Well, looks like Izzy Kelly's going to get a break too. The last 3 and a bit minutes. She deserves it. Another plus 200 metre run night for her.
Yeah, she's been absolutely magnificent, Isabel Kelly. Here goes Emma Manzelmann. Manzelmann, and lost her footing as she tried to step around Baxter.
Keep going.
Here's an opportunity. Faifua got the ball back, and the Roosters' defence, they're in numbers again. Emma Manzelmann slow to get to her feet. Muka playing the ball a couple of metres short. Now Dib. Last play. Karoy to dummy half. Fafua.
Oh, that's played it.
And that's
yeah,
play
that's
on. And they'll end their season with a try. Fafua scores. Try awarded for the Cowboys.
Well, this is exactly what I wanted to see out of the Cowboys, knowing that Kira Dib had been caught with the ball on the previous play. And the Harvey Norman replay will show this run by Emma Manzelmann. And if I'm John Strange, I'm looking at, there's been a few times that their ruck has been dissected in this fashion, and he'll want to tidy that up heading into finals. But this here, Jatea Faifua puts a nice little kick in. It's played out by the Roosters defence, and she comes up with the ball nice and clean. She's been under some pressure tonight, Faifua, but I think I just want to see this put down again, just to make sure.
The try has been confirmed. Nice from Jatea Faifua. Dib converts. It's 40 points to 16. Dragons v Broncos coming up. Now we are down to 4 teams in the NRL. Penrith v Melbourne. That's Friday night at Accor Stadium. You'll see it on Nine's Wide World of Sports. And you'll see this one this time next week at Suncorp Stadium. The Broncos against the Warriors, who won through to the preliminary final with a home win against the Knights earlier today. That's Saturday night. All of the finals live and free on Nine. And we're into the NRLW finals next week. That's exciting. Best month of the year, September. Finals footy We've got it all for you, including the grand final. NRL grand final, exclusive, live and free on 9. Nagapuna with an offload to Karoi. Trying to end with a flurry here. The Cowboys. Muka running onto that one with purpose. Now Dib. Nagapuna. Maple Nagapuna. Nice offload as well to Reeves. Back to Muka. And there's 10 seconds remaining. Dib. Crossfield kick. What does the bounce do? It rolls end on end. Oh, sits up, and Wood has to make a play at it. That's full time. The Roosters, comprehensive. They've defeated the Cowboys and march on to the finals. The Roosters will finish second on the NRL ladder. Full time, the Roosters 40 have defeated the Cowboys 16.